Okay, hello everyone. Well, it is 6 o'clock and it is Wednesday, October the 7th. This is the Florida Course Supervisor Program meeting. And who we have currently that I can see with us, Nahala Hatum, Mitch Lazarus, Pam Bast, Dennis Hassel, Pedro Milat, Jamie Owsley, Tom Nestor, Felipe Rodriguez, Noah Torres, Monica Dubé, and I believe Sherry Lucky on her iPhone.
That's correct.
And Philip Rand is with us today.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Philip.
Hello.
And I believe Noah is driving, so he's going to be off video, being safe and driving, and will be listening in.
Great.
Yep, great. So I would like to begin by having someone just take themselves off mute and create the bold statement of who we are. Who would like to do that? Don't everybody jump right in at once.
Okay,
I'll do it.
okay, go ahead.
All right, Pam, thanks.
Thanks. We, the course supervisors, are given by a possibility bigger than ourselves. Holding is sacred, the integrity of the clearing in which transformation occurs. Causing the fulfillment of our brand, master providers of whatever is needed.
Great, thank you. And Nahala, you jumped in there too. Would you like to create it also?
Okay.
Great.
We, the course supervisors, are given by a possibility bigger than ourselves, holding as sacred the integrity of the clearing in which transformation occurs, causing the fulfillment of our brand, master providers of whatever is needed.
Great, thank you. All right, everyone. So I invited Philip to our meeting today, given that we would have been completing our third quarter last Saturday, and we didn't have the opportunity to be with each other and to have that meeting. And so I also wanted to create with you all, and I created this with Philip, is the context of sharing, of being connected to who we are, being connected to each other, given what we're dealing with. And it's been several months that we've actually physically been with each other. So I wanted to create I wanted to share this slide with you. And this is also in alignment with what Gina Kotner's been creating inside of our distinction calls for the past couple of weeks. And some of you weren't with us in the third quarter a year ago when Philip created what's possible inside a clearing of being complete. So we're going to have a couple of conversations about being connected and being complete. And I wanted Philip to if he would, share with us the conversation that he briefly shared in that classroom almost a year ago now about being complete and what gets created inside the clearing of being complete. So Philip, I know I'm just like throwing this out here now for you. And so I'd like to give you the opportunity to say what you'd like to say about being complete and what can get created inside of that.
All right, good. All right, well, we'll get to that, okay? But first of all, it's just awesome to be with you.
Yes.
So, Tim, there's a slight misrepresentation, at least in my world. While it's accurate, Tim invited me, you should know I really demanded to be on this call. So it actually, I had I'm like, where are these people? I need to be with my people. So I got Tim on a call. I'm like, when's the next time the course supervisors are I'm gonna be there? So I want you to know it's awesome being with you.
Thanks.
And I also, I think it's critical. I've been engaging in this conversation with seminar leaders and the self-expression leadership program leaders and the introduction leaders. And I think it's really critical to underline for you, which is the bold statement doesn't have anything to do with in-person programs. So it's critical that here we are. It's been 7 months, almost 7 months. Do you know it's been 7 months since we had a final session of the Landmark Forum? Isn't that trippy? Like 7 months.
Yep.
Since we've had an in-person program. So we want to, I want to give you the opportunity to get yourself grounded in that. And nothing's changed about what we're out to cause in the world. See, you, me, the other course supervisors, this program is about the opportunity to participate in one's own transformation, the transformation of others, and the transformation of life itself. That is what we're doing here. What we're not doing here is producing courses. You get the distinction between those. Oh, our opportunity of being together tonight, our opportunity is about causing our own transformation, the transformation of others, and the transformation of life itself. See, participating in that right here, right now, there's as much of an opportunity as if you were preparing to supervise an in-person forum.
Yep.
So one of the distinctions of our work is the circumstances have nothing to do with who you get to be in life. And this time is extraordinary. Why? Because you really get to discover that. Look, is my life about or a product of some prep cycle I'm in, or is my life a product of what I'm creating and what I'm causing?
Yeah.
Do you get that? And we're trippy. We're just we have an introduction leader going to an orientation to consider being a seminar leader apprentice. We're not training seminar leader apprentices right now. We don't have in-person seminars to train apprentices, but he's going to that program. Well, how come? Because that program is the opportunity to participate in his transformation, the transformation of others, and the transformation of life itself. So it's critical that if that context has been in the background, I want you to move it to the foreground. See, if that's what you're up to, then life gets really exciting. And then it's like, well, what are my opportunities to participate in that? What are my opportunities to express that? Okay, what does that look like right here, right now, as a course supervisor? This phenomenon called keeping sacred the integrity of the clearing, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that hasn't stopped. 2 weeks ago, I was just like on my way, and I'm like, I love my car. I think I have the coolest car on the planet, but my satisfaction, my joy, my vitality of being in my car started to diminish, and I was like complaining to myself about my car. It was like I'm like, this is super weird. What's up with this? And I realized the stupid tire gauge light was on for weeks. And every time I got in my car, I sat in my car, I started my car, and as soon as I started my car, that light came on. I was like annoyed. I'm like, I'm not even driving. Don't you know, I'm in the middle of a pandemic. I don't have time to deal with tire pressure. And then I drive past this gas station, and I knew there was a air pump, and I would get more annoyed. That thing, you can't even use your credit card. You gotta have quarters. Who do you have quarters? So you know we're in a pandemic. There's a coin shortage. And I'm like on it. And that, for weeks, and I just started laughing. I'm like, that is like insane. I'm like, are you a forum leader or are you at the effect of a tire pressure light?
Yeah.
And in that moment, I really chose to handle it. And handling that was my opportunity to participate in my own transformation, the transformation of others, and the transformation of life itself. And that Sunday I created, Sunday was International Integrity Day. And I was going to have my environment be whole and complete. And I got my car detailed, and there's this little oil change spot next to the car wash. And I'm like, I saw this little air hose, and I'm like, this is even going to be better than dealing with quarters. I'm going to get my air for free because I got enrollment. And I rolled these dudes and and they gave me this electronic tire pressure gauge. It was the coolest thing I have ever seen. I have never had so much joy out of putting air in my tires in my life. And I got, and I got it handled, except I was like, no, today's International Integrity Day. So then I checked the back tires, and the back tires were about to be low enough to set the stupid light off again. And I'm like, winning. I beat these two. Now, look, that may be, how many of you are kind of like enrolled in that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's called causing our work to be present. Our work isn't in courses. Our work is in people's day-to-day lives. Who am I going to be right here, right now? What am I going to stand for right here, right now? Okay, am I holding? If you looked out into my life, would you see the sacred clearing of the forum? Or is this everything ordinary around me? Now, the cool thing is if you start to get the way the world works is things are always going from a high state to a lower state. That's physics.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that?
Yep.
From a high order to a low order. And given that's the way the world's designed, there's always an opportunity to tend to the clearing, to expand the clearing, to create the clearing. Which is one of the distinctions Tim asked me to talk about, which is completion. By the way, completion was one of the first distinctions of our work. Completion became before integrity. Let me say that again. Completion, that distinction came before integrity. That's what the S training was about, having life be whole and complete. See, there's a lot of things that are really cool in life. Skydiving's super cool. Has anyone gone skydiving? Okay, I recommend you go. It's awesome. It's like a really cool experience. It just doesn't give you any access to completion. Anyone ever walked on hot coals?
Nope.
Yeah, it's super, super, super cool. It just doesn't give you any access to transformation. See, transformation, the access to it is dwelling in the distinctions of our work. And completion's a fundamental distinction. So when you meet a course supervisor, you meet the distinction completion. And completion is distinct from something being over. See, human beings collapse something being finished or something being over with completion. See, football games end, they're over. Relationships end, they're over. But that doesn't mean they're complete. So if you're someone who's interested in a breakthrough in power, a breakthrough in freedom, a breakthrough in self-expression, and access to that is the world of completion. And where you start with is what?
Whatever's incomplete.
Yeah, whatever's incomplete. Oh, I want a new level of intimacy in my marriage. Okay, well, I'm going to start with what's incomplete. Oh, I want a new level, or I want more space for abundance in my life. I just don't have a lot of power around my finances. All right, I'm going to start with what's incomplete. And when I start with what's incomplete and I start completing what's incomplete, all of a sudden there's new space. There's freedom that starts to arise. So one of the things people have been stuck with during the pandemic is a lot of the incompletions are showing up for them.
Yeah.
Incompletions in, like, literally in their physical environment because they're home. Incompletions in their marriages. How come? Because they're home. They're around each other. You know, I have friends that have been married for 38 years, and on Tuesday, they scheduled appointments to go get an attorney. How come? Because they're going to get a divorce. And you know, they're at their wits' ends with each other. And I said, look, I really get it. I really get it. It's accurate. Your marriage is over. That is accurate. But you just want to start to deal with, you're doing nothing to get it complete. Yeah, one of the things I'm most inspired by is I've had 3 marriages. They just happen to be with the same person. Because I'm grounded in and I'm organized around anytime there's a loss of love, anytime there's a loss of affinity, anytime there's a loss of intimacy. It's not because the pastures turn brown and the grass is greener on the other side. By the way, that's one of the litmus tests. How do you know you're incomplete? One of the litmus tests for you being incomplete is when you start having a conversation with yourself about how green the grass is on the other side. Yeah, well, if I didn't have this one, if I didn't have that body, if I didn't have that bank account, then life would turn out. So I'm gonna go work really hard to get that new body, or I'm gonna work, or I'm just gonna be resigned. And I'm gonna be stuck with this body. It's just all, and yeah, I'm gonna live in this fantasy that the grass is greener on the other side. That's just the world of incompletion. So, you know, I think the context, as I'm just creating this with you, one of the level 1 course supervisors actually called me up to complete something with me. It was just unbelievable. It was so inspiring. And this course supervisor was, you know, lit up. Why? Because he did the work to deal with something in his life that was incomplete. And out of completing it, he was just left with this whole new freedom. And out of him sharing it with me, I was left touched, moved, and inspired by who a course supervisor is. See, a course supervisor is that anything can be complete. Anything. When you walk into a forum, what you walk into is a space that anything can be completed. That's why our work's magical, because those things people have been carrying around for years and years and years and years and years. In 3 days and an evening, it can be completed. So, Tim, did that speak to what you wanted me to create?
Yeah, yes, completely. Thank you.
Yeah, and now I'm going to leave you with the quote. You ready for the quote?
Yeah.
Felipe, you ready for this? Noah, you ready for this? Yeah. This is Warner talking about the forum. This is what Warner said about the forum. You ready? He said, "Nothing's true about the forum. There's nothing I said that's true. However, if there was one thing that might be true, what might be true is your life will work the degree to which you're complete with your parents."
Yep.
And that's held up in my life for 20 years. Because remember, life goes from a higher order to a lower order. And if you want power in your life, the question isn't, what did I complete? What have I completed in the past? That's not the question. If you want power, the question is, what's incomplete now?
So great. Thank you, Philip.
So anything anyone wants to say about what I just created? Anything you want to share about what you're hearing?
Just take yourself off mute. Who'd like to share?
Or you're now all massively confronted by your incompletion?
This is Noah.
Yeah, Noah.
Yeah.
Noah,
you,
it's
Philip.
so great to be with you. I miss you.
Thank you. And I miss seeing you, and I miss being with you as well.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, I am parked. I have arrived.
Great.
And with what you were sharing, that last part, that's something that I have been working on getting complete with my parents, and
Yeah.
the past month, there were
Yeah.
things that I was unwilling to get complete with
Yeah.
my parents and in regards to my sexuality.
Yeah.
And I got to be able to see that a lot of that was incomplete for me, and a lot of the restrictions and limitations were inside of my story, and being able to share with them what was on my end, the judgment, all the machinery, it created this space to be able to give them the freedom to share and the authenticity to be able to experience their son, and I have been dealing with. And what I can share in regards to that is that I've never felt so close to my father, and the kind of relationship that I have today with him is something that I never imagined. And I'm actually here. I'm just arriving here to my dad's place, and I'm so thankful that I get to be able to do that. And I what I see now is that I get to now look at, well, what else is incomplete? Because if this is what it's like, I can only imagine how much more is available to us all as a family. So thank you.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to read you my new favorite quote. You ready for my new favorite quote?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. My new favorite quote is, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me.
Mm.
Look what happens with a love like that lights up the whole sky.
That's pretty cool.
That's the possibility of completion. See, anywhere you are that you're owed, consider there's something that's incomplete. I'll say that one more time. Anywhere you are that you're owed, you owe me, consider there's something that's incomplete. So the last thing I want to create with you is I want to invite you between now and the end of November. I want to invite you to get in a committed conversation with Jared to really pick a community introduction to the Landmark Forum that the course supervisors want to play a game in really causing your own transformation in the world. So there's something available. I'm just present to, Tim, can you put that down for a second?
Sure.
I'm present to just the difference it made for Monica to be sharing with her friend from Chicago. Monica, what's your friend's name? I just can't remember. I can see her face. I can't remember her name.
Mariella.
Yeah, Mariella. Mariella was an introduction. I know that Tim has had 2 of his coworkers register. Noah's been sharing with someone. Josh registered one of his friends and her colleagues. And it's a count-onable and reliable way to be causing transformation in the world. So right now, there are 12,000 people registered into the Landmark Forum waiting to do the forum.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Wow.
And myself and the staff all the way around the world, we have a promise that we're going to have 20,000 people registered and waiting.
Wow.
And there's a lie in that. And the lie is they're waiting, because they're not waiting. The forum starts when you register. And just so you know, the other thing that's really inspiring to me about Landmark is, you should know, we are working around the clock to create a forum that we can do online. And what inspires me about Landmark is we're not going to offer a watered down version of the forum.
Yay.
We're not going to do the forum light.
Yeah.
We're not going to do a diet forum. No, we're going to do if we're going to do the forum, we're going to do the forum. And the people that are pre-registered are going to get the first dibs on it. So we're giving people an opportunity to register in the programs that we're committed we offer in person. And we're committed to offering the forum online. And we're not going to unless it's going to be the forum. And when we have that breakthrough and we know we can promise the forum, the people that are currently registered get dibs. You get
They've
the
been
world
waiting.
of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tim, I request you guys look at, like, in the next 3 weeks, like, we're gonna have this intro. This is the introduction our program's gonna play for, and we're gonna really cause something being possible in the world. So speaking of introductions, I gotta go clear an introduction leader to lead. But it was awesome being with you. I love you, and we'll see you around campus.
Thank you, Philip.
Thanks, Philip.
Bye.
Thank you, Philip.
Okay, now
Thank you.
the schedule back up. So this schedule was put in the WhatsApp, but I know some people may not see it or have it. So I'm going to send this as an attachment to everybody. But so there's an introduction tonight. That's the one he's just getting ready to clear someone for. There's one next Thursday, Tuesday, the 20th. Saturdays in the morning. That's pretty cool. Wednesday, the 28th, and Saturday, Halloween morning. So I'm going to send this out to everybody. I would like for us to create a game of how many guests we as a program will have during the month of October. Who would like to play that game? Okay, I see Monica, Pam, Tom, Noah, Pedro, Nahala threw her hand up there. All right, great. And I can't see Sherry, Desiree, or Jamie.
Yeah, I'll play the game.
Okay, Sherry, great. All right, so what do we want to have as the score of that game by the end of October? How many?
I have a question first.
Yeah,
Are these introductions like you can only have one guest with you per introduction because you're going to be going into a guest
Yes.
room or a break? Okay.
yep, that is the limit. That is a limitation.
Mm.
And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 5 introductions after tonight. So potentially we could each one have 5 guests.
Hmm.
So we can throw our hat over the wall and figure out how to get over the wall to get our hat. Monica, had you ever heard that version of that before? So in the advanced course this weekend, Larry shared about, I think it was Ireland, 2 boys with their hats, and throw your hat over the wall came out of, there was this wall, they didn't know how to get over it, and one of the boys said, "Here, give me your hat," and he threw the hats over the wall, and he goes, "Now we have to figure it out." I'd never heard that. So what do we say? How many guests will we have by the end of October, sourced by the course supervisor program? I'm going to have 2.
I'll have 2.
Okay.
Likewise.
Barry, Tom. Oh, I heard a doggy.
I'm
Pam.
gonna have 3. I know a couple people right now.
Okay, great. Monica's going to have 3. Nahala, you raised your hand. What you saying?
Yeah, I'll have 1.
Okay, great. And Pedro, I saw you.
Yep.
Noah, 1, Pedro?
Yep.
Okay. Noah?
I'm giving a promise of 1 as
Okay,
well.
Great. Noah and Dennis is 2. All right. And whoever's listening to the recording, I request that you send me in an email after you listen to the recording the number of guests you're going to have in an introduction by the end of October. Who else did I miss? Felipe, were you going to play the game? Nope. Okay, got it. Desiree, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can. Just checking in. Did you want to play the game?
Nope.
I think that was a no.
No, yeah.
Okay, great. And Jamie?
No, thank you.
Okay, got it. All right, I think I got everybody written down here. Okay, great. So that's 2, 4, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 so far. We'll see what we hear from folks listening to the recording. Okay, I will share with you that these introductions are radically different than the in-person introductions in that you actually get to be with your guests. They put you in a breakout room and you have a conversation with them about what they just saw in the conversation that the leader had and what difference they could see that that distinction could make in their life. And then you come back, it's like 3 minutes, you're put in the breakout room. Come back, then there's more, and they put you in 3 different times. And then at the end, they're given the opportunity to register. And you're put in a breakout room at the end, and it's just, are you interested in registering? And the leader typically will move around into the breakout rooms and see if there's anything that's unresolved about registering. It's very powerful. 50% of my guests that I've had in these kind of introductions have just like, boom, registered, which I've never had that before. So I just share that with you. They're very effective. Okay, I would like Noah to share where you are and where you're going and what you're up to. Would you like to do that? I mean, I don't know where you are going
Yeah.
right now, but tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So today I am preparing myself, doing some last minute things for a flight that I have tomorrow, for a new job that I got offered. It's a job where I will be doing, it's to be involved in a political campaign. And this is something that, out of doing the integrity report, and just looking at my life, what works, what doesn't work, I have been given the opportunity to create and bring integrity into my finances. And I've been looking at those different sections, what's working, what's not working, and just got to the point where, like, I just said, you know what, I just need to find a new job. And so out of that, a friend of a friend called me to ask me if I wanted to do a job last week. And then someone else, actually Lourdes, who used to be a staff member at Landmark, posted something on Facebook about a job opportunity, and that was last week. And I applied for it. I had the interview Monday, and they said, if you're willing and ready, we'll have you traveling Thursday to your spot. And so that's happening. And the reason why this is so great, it's because, it's, number one, I see it as such a huge breakthrough. Not only am I getting paid double the amount that I'm making now, I get to make it work in my life, and everything around it works. I spoke with my current boss. Not only did I speak with him, there was an enrollment conversation around it. He was totally enrolled. He said, when you come back, you'll have a job still. I get to be able to, speak with my parents about this, and just, have them be involved in this as well. I get to be a contribution, and experience something that I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to travel. And the story behind it all has always been, well, I need more money to travel. And now I get to travel and work. And, it's just wonderful, because this is something that I can actually say that it's been created inside of my word, inside of me on a weekly basis, looking at what works, what doesn't work, and practicing what it looks like to give my word to things, and the power that comes with with having integrity, being, you know, holding sacred the integrity of the clearing in which transformation occurs. And just like that, it came to me. So yeah, I'm really excited. So I'm going to be back once elections is done, and I get to make everything in my life work as well with it. So yeah.
What city are you going to know?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to North Carolina, and from there, or Charlotte, North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
From there, I'm not sure where they're going to be taking me to, but basically the context was wherever I'm needed. And so it's like, oh, okay, great. So I get to bring course supervisor into this. I'll have a team. So yeah.
That's
Congrats, Noah.
yeah, really well done.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yep. That's
Thank you.
bringing this program to your life. That's what that looks like. Not supervising courses, but actually having the distinctions, course supervisor, inside your life. Great. All right, I'd like to open up for about 10 minutes for people to share, similar to what Noah's been sharing. Where do you see course supervisors showing up out here in your life? What's been happening in your life? And you could also share, there's areas of my life where course supervisor is not thriving. I can see it's not happening here. And share what that's like. Who'd like to share?
I'll go.
Okay.
So
First, sorry, Pam, how are you?
Hi.
What happened? You were in a car accident.
Oh, I'm more concerned about this cool balloon I just got a day early. And this one,
Happy birthday.
thank you. And that's a transformation. And I got roses. So
Wow.
yeah. So what happened was
Well, who sent them?
I was hand delivered by my husband.
Okay. I was just checking. We don't
Yep,
know.
my Zoom corner in my room.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
How
So yeah, like, well, huge transformation. So yeah. Okay, so what happened on Monday? No. Yes. On Monday, was that I was in a traveling lane and there was a merge lane, and I have I had a sense that something was up because I was really sad, and I'm like, I'm old, you guys, I'm old enough to be starting menopause and stuff. So I'm like, oh, just roll with it. Just see what's there. Be inquisitive. Don't resist it. And I'm like really sad. I was super sad. And I was like, oh, so weird. Right? That's like what's going on in the background. But then I'm driving and I noticed a man not slowing down in the merge lane, and he merged into my car.
Wow.
Now, I tell you, I noticed something before we turned to the left. It was 2 lanes turning left. I noticed something, but I ignored it. So it was very interesting. And my car has very little damage. I was disappointed that had happened. I was more disappointed that I had ignored my sense about it. I was pretty disappointed in myself about that. And then it took a while for the cop to come, and I was definitely not going to be present on the Zoom call. So I communicated, and then I'm not sure if y'all saw what I wrote in the WhatsApp, but transformation happens in a moment. So Josh Horowitz called me, and I answered the phone. Literally didn't even say hi. Did you mean to call me? Like, I was worried, worried for him. Like, oh, did you mean to call me? And he was like, what? So that was kind of hilarious. But in the whole 13 seconds that we interacted with each other, something shifted. And I shared on the WhatsApp that my mom shared something with me when I was 15, that she'd walked in on my dad with the shotgun in his mouth. And her abridged version was that it was my fault. Like, I was, however I was being in the world was enough to drive a human being to kill themselves. So what I saw was that, my mother had a lot of stuff going on, and that's all she could get out, right? That's really, she couldn't get much more out. That must have been pretty shocking for her.
Yeah.
And what I saw, though, that rocked me to my core was how I have since then set my life up to be fine. Like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Keep people at a distance, don't maintain friendships, be careful about what you say, be careful in general, you're too risky. So, and then my risky behavior can make really bad things happen to people, like really terrible things. So this is how I noticed. So Josh called me. I hadn't talked to him in like a while. So that shocked me at my already always. But then I couldn't get a hold of John because he was umpiring. And that was normal, right? That like, I'm like, oh, this is so annoying. This is so normal. But when in reality, when I look back, I'm like, wow, I really literally like see how I put that in place. The other thing that was consistent with that is that when I called my son to let him know I wasn't gonna be home right away, he asked me why, and I said because somebody hit the car, and he was like, he was like, great, that's just great. The one thing that we need to do is keep that car, because we're gonna race it eventually, keep the body of that car intact. So I was like, okay. But it's totally consistent. It's so consistent with me being, I'm fine, don't worry about me, I got this, or whatever other language comes up. Yeah. So that was like, that's the other thing I saw. So when I face risks in life, it's literally a life or death thing. So me being bold is terrified, like has this reaction that I shut down because it like I could be risking your life. So that's a lot of drama. It's like a real crap load of drama. So that got complete on Monday or Tuesday when I was typing all that stuff out. I was sobbing and my mascara was dripping on the phone, which I thought was hilarious. And because I was like, I'm just going to share this. I'm just going to share this because this is what we do. We distinguish things and ways of being that has us keep repeating patterns in our life. And until it's seen, there's no transformation. So that really, so Josh Horowitz, like I'm not kidding, like cracked open something I didn't even know was there, really.
That's amazing.
And then the other thing is my back got worse after I quit doing massage. I thought that was curious, right? If we can have any result for ourselves or our life, then mine is that my back gets better.
Great.
Right? So I'm doing things I'm supposed to be doing, and then I don't do them. And then like I'm trying to figure it out, and and I'm doing finger quotes for those of you who can't see me. That's just a load of crap. And so I started an energy healing class, and I started meditating for 25 minutes every day for a couple of weeks. And I noticed that, so funny because I was like, oh, I have to do this because of yoga teacher training. Well, I noticed that I could be with anything, any communication. I could say things that were hard for me to say and not hold grudges. I saw that when John would do something he said he wasn't going to do, I would be gone for like weeks because of that like a one thing. So then another thing would happen. So I was operating under an umbrella of incompletions, and my life was going to hell. Like we had divorce papers out. We had them out. We were going to read them and fill them out. We were done. And and I'm like, I really have no financial means to go anywhere. So I have to work it out. I just don't have the option to be so cavalier and be like, oh, I'm done with you. So I took a look at that and shared that with John, and we got a chuckle on it. But I just noticed that it's like prepping for a course in my life. Like, so I'm prepping for my life now rather than just prepping for a course. So I'm meditating, I'm listening, I can hear what's being said. People in my house are nicer. Magic, not really. Because I'm not freaking edgy as hell anymore. Like, was it Over the Hedge? There's this cartoon movie, and the squirrel moves around really fast anyway, but then they give him coffee. So that's how I've been living my day-to-day life, and there's no integrity in that. And I've been pretty resistant, and every time Noah shares about the level 1 integrity report, today I really got how silly and unorganized and ineffective it is for me not to be doing one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna I will take that on.
Great.
Yeah. So
Thank
that's
you.
what I got out of, and I wasn't I had booked myself over the call for work, and then and I say magically, I'm like, magically the showings got canceled, but thank God they got canceled, because now I get to be with you guys and deal with my freaking life.
Ma'am, thanks for sharing all of that. Like, there
You're
was
welcome.
a lot there, but I got a lot has happened since you and I have talked. Now, it's so perfect what you just created about your well-being, because one of the things I wanted to quickly talk about, and maybe Nahala will be able to share. So there's a seminar starting tomorrow that Kai Bounds is leading called Beyond Fitness. And I'm the call manager for that seminar. And this morning we did a mock, because tomorrow night is the first session. And Nahala was a participant in the mock, and I was there. And I was just blown back by what got created inside of this mock that was maybe an hour and 10, 15 minutes. And one of the things that I walked away from this seminar was that I'm overweight. I've tried all kinds of things to survive the being overweight. I'm getting older. I'm trying to look at what there is to do to survive the agedness that's happening. There's all of these things that we do inside of our fitness and our well-being, we call our well-being, to survive it, to change it, to fix it. And this seminar is not about any of that. It really is about creating a clearing for well-being in all areas of your life. And I was, I'm the call manager, and I'm not actually in the seminar, but I so got the power of this seminar. Everybody's invited to register into it, even though you haven't registered today. It is tomorrow. You can call the center and get yourself registered. If you're a level 2 course supervisor, you can get a 50% scholarship. If you're a level 3, you have 100% scholarship. And if you're a level 1, you can make a powerful request to the center manager. So, Nahala, I don't know if you'd like to share anything, something that you got for yourself. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll share. Yeah, it was very powerful, and it was just a 90-minute, and practice session, and so I can only imagine what a whole 10 weeks of it would be like. And so yeah, and Kai is great. Anyways, so what I got present to actually is that my way of being in life, that I've become as a way of being and coping and dealing with things, is I plow through things, whether it's hardship, danger, whatever it is that's going on, I just plow through it. And then after the call I was thinking, but then that creates a disconnect for me from, my emotions and feelings and everything in relation to what's happening. So I'm doing and kind of being, but I'm not really present. And so even whatever I achieve and do, there's still this lack of fulfillment or joy or happiness in it, even though I accomplished it. There's a disconnect there. And so I could see how that was also playing into my well-being, doing, and getting some success, but not where I expect it to be. And then I get tired and I don't want to do it anymore. And then I revert back to my old ways, and it's just a vicious cycle. So I could really see how it plays out in different areas of my life, of just getting through things, plowing through things and accomplishing, but not really being present to it and having a disconnect from it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's the plowing through is a surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. And thank you again for being a participant this morning.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, and Pedro, you are already registered, right? Yep, great. Noah, I know you were having a conversation. I know now you're going somewhere else, so.
Yeah, it won't work. I mean, my flight's at 5:45.
Yeah.
From
Well,
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I got it. For tomorrow,
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you're even able to schedule, know what your life is even like, so.
Yeah, no. Though
Kai
I
had asked.
did want this.
Okay,
Yeah. I'm gonna communicate with Kai as well because I have something pending with her.
okay, good. Is there anybody else here on the call tonight who's interested in registering into the seminar?
I am actually, but I do want to talk to you afterwards.
Sure. I have a meeting with Pam and Dennis on this same Zoom afterwards, after this, but we can definitely, at 9 o'clock, if you're available, we can talk.
Yeah, whenever you're done,
Okay.
call me if you
I'll
don't
give you a
mind, and I'll be free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, thanks. All right. Dennis and Pam and I are going to meet after this meeting in a few minutes, and I've been given the 2021 course calendar for the center. And we're going to look at the first quarter of the courses that are scheduled. Given what we know and what we don't know, we're going to put the schedule on the course supervisor website, and then we're going to start having conversations with who needs what to be on certain courses to get checked off on, and we're just going to move forward as if they're happening. So in the next couple of weeks, I told Philip by the end of this month, we would have people scheduled into those courses. So be on the lookout for an email with the course schedule, and it'll be a spreadsheet. I'll explain it to you in an email. So that's going to happen. Okay, I got a minute and a half. So one of the other conversations I wanted to have with you all is the spreadsheet that we're working off of, that we're using to track the incompletions on our course supervisor website. So can you all see that spreadsheet? So Pam and Pedro and I work on this, and every week we look at the different, sorry about the scroll, the different items that are still on the course supervisor website that are incomplete. And then it keeps a tally of the broken agreements. And those that are crossed out have been completed, like they have been marked off and you've done the work. And then whether you restored your integrity or not with the program around that broken agreement either says yes, that you have, or it says no, if it's gotten marked off, but it says no, it's because you didn't actually get that complete with the program. So having the conversation about completion, this is a really good place to start. You know, you could complete on something by just cleaning out your closet, or putting oil in your car, or air in your tire. And you could also get complete by completing anything here that you have that's on this website. And be in communication with the program when you have gotten it complete, and then see what kind of things show up in your life. You know, I wish Dave Williams was here to be able to share with you what's going on in his life. He's gotten complete with both of his parents in the last month, and true miracles and magic have happened in his life since, around the relationship with his mother and his father separately, they're divorced, as well as in his life. So there's no mystery to what shows up inside of the clearing of completion. So we'll be looking towards you. If your name is on this spreadsheet and you have things, please take a look at it and get complete, and get in touch with Pedro and Pam and restore your integrity.
Tim, we're a little over, but can I have 30 seconds?
Yep, you can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So there was a call back in July that I had missed, and it was a call that I had to request the recording of, and I requested it and I never got it, and I requested it again, and I was just, I was just gonna I could have let it go, right?
Yeah.
But I knew that I didn't listen to that call.
Yeah.
So I pursued it. I was responsible that I got the recording and I listened to it, and because I know how it goes if I don't complete something like that, and I know about it, even like we've gotten away with it. And it was really great. I'm so glad I got to hear that call, because I got super related to Tom, who was discussed in the call. Very good things, don't worry. And man, I was like, I got to know, more about this great person in our program. I was like, man, I'm so glad I didn't miss that, Yeah. So, it made a big difference for me. And now that is not in my space anymore.
Yeah.
And it's complete.
Yeah. And you got a new house and you got everything arranged.
Well, now there's a lot of other things incomplete, but that's
well, keep looking. Keep looking. Yeah. Great. So just so you know, there are calls recordings on our YouTube playlist that are private, because they are level 1 mentor calls and leadership calls. And there are conversations there that we don't necessarily want the whole program to hear, and it's not gossip, but it just doesn't work to have those conversations being listened to by the whole program. Mm-hmm. And if anyone wants to, I'm happy to share them with you, right? So just so to have that complete. So what Jamie's talking about, he didn't have access to it, and you'll see those on the playlist when you're looking for calls. Okay, I just put in the chat the link to that website in case you can't find it. It has been shared with you all. So please take on getting all of that complete, so that by the call the next 2 weeks from now, those are complete and that spreadsheet is no longer needed to be used. All right. It is now 7:03. Does anyone have any questions or anything that you'd like to say to be complete? Any questions you have? Yes.
Just
Pam.
one thing. I left out that my pain has reduced by 90% from meditating.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Keep it up. Okay, good. All right, well, I'm going to stop the recording then. I think I've said everything I wanted to say.
Tim.
Yes.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for being on this call. It's great seeing you all. Like, Tim and Pam and I have conversations about the integrity of the program and the website and all that, but you are the magic that makes it happen in Rio. So it's really great being with all of you, like Mitch, Desiree, Sherry, Jamie, Tom, everybody. Nahala.
Yeah.
So thank you. And remember to mark the website.
That's right.
Complete this call.
Right now, go to the website and mark the website complete. Thank you, Pedro.
Yeah, you're welcome.